Welcome back to News Now on PNC. Merchandisers who were expecting a shipment next week will have to wait a little longer for their goods after a Matson ship experienced structural damage recently. Shipments that were expected to arrive on the 25th have now been delayed by 1 week. PNC's Betsy Brown sat down with Port General Manager Joanne Brown to find out how that will affect the community.
Foreign ports are most affected by the ongoing labor disputes at major West Coast ports. Ships to Guam and Hawaii have been exempted from suspensions in operations so far. However, another issue will delay a shipment to Guam by about a week. Matson over the weekend announced that one of its ships is undergoing repairs, so shipments that were expected to arrive on that vessel next Wednesday won't be here until the following week. Port Authority General Manager Joanne Brown, however, says this is nothing to worry about.
I don't believe at this point we're at a point of panic or concern. We know that some of the perishable goods are going to be flown into Guam. So while I understand the concern many may be thinking at this time, I think overall I don't think we're at a level that would raise major concern. And we have a number of distributors that also still have commodities on their shelves that they're going to be able to provide out and distribute to the markets here on islands.
And Brown says it's not unusual for a ship to be delayed for 1 or 2 weeks.
If you have inclement weather here on Guam or in other locations that might be involved in the shipping route, it's not unusual for shipments to be delayed. After we have a bad storm come through Guam, I mean, we have ships that are delayed for a number of days, and then all of a sudden we have to do an awful lot of overtime work just to catch up with all the vessels that are coming in.
And staffing is something the Port Authority is already considering for when this Matson ship does come in, which is expected to happen on March 4th.
We're going to have to double up our efforts to unload cargo, and then because of the increased cargo in our yard, a little more time and effort is going to be involved in actually moving that cargo and storing it. You know, because we're certainly going to be getting more off that shipment than we normally would. And so pretty much that is something that we're quite capable of dealing with. It's going to be a minor adjustment that we're going to have to address, but overall, in terms of our ability to move the cargo, that's not going to be a major concern when that time comes.
PNC also spoke with Chamber of Commerce President David Letty today. He says the Chamber is keeping an eye on the labor negotiations on the West Coast, and while he says the situation is worrisome, it's the ship repairs that are causing a concern for Guam right now. Betsy Brown, PNC News.
The local group, Our Islands Are Sacred, are planning an event centered around the Lunar New Year. It's called the Lukaw Fuha, or Procession to Fua Rock in Umatic. It's an ancient Chamorro practice that modern Chamorros are reviving.
This Saturday, the folks from Our Islands Are Sacred are putting together a lukaw. And this is a lukaw to Fua. Lukaw in Chamorro means a spiritual procession.
This spiritual procession to the Fua Rock in Umatic was practiced by the ancient Chamorro and documented by Spanish priests and various explorers. According to the Chamorro creation legend, Fua Rock is the birthplace of mankind.
There are several historical accounts about this celebration documented by San Torres, Fray Sine, Antonio de Los Angeles, Fray Juan Pobre as well. And it talks about our people celebrating at that time our origin, our creation, at that place, which is Fua. During that celebration, our community would gather, and also the communities from the Northern Marianas, they would send a representative of their clan, sail down here to Guahan, arrive in Humatag just in time for the celebration.
And they are planning on having a canoe from the traditions about seafaring islands, or Tasi, sail down to Umatic from Agana.
And the whole point of this lukaw is to bring our families together, our Mangafa, bring our people together to be one, Manhita, and also to bring our kana, our spiritual energy together and make it grow.
Joey Certeza and Brandon Cruz of Our Islands Are Sacred encourage the public to bring plants, seeds, and other offerings that they say can receive spiritual energy that will make them grow better in the new lunar year. They also encourage everyone to wear the traditional Chamorro colors of black, white, and orange.
And if you are interested in attending, you can meet up at the Umatic Mayor's office at 8 a.m. on Saturday. It's about a 20-minute hike, so bring plenty of water and hiking gear.
Today is also Chinese New Year's Eve, and Tumon is full of tourists who are spending their holiday on Guam. PNC's Betsy Brown joins us now with a story on how restaurants are getting ready for the holiday. Betsy?
Janella, eating is a big part of the Chinese New Year tradition, and with tonight being the last day of the current lunar calendar, you can expect Chinese restaurants to be very busy both today and tomorrow. I visited the Red Dragon in Tumon today to get a taste of their celebration. Lynn and Anna Youngping are expecting the tables at the Red Dragon restaurant in Tumon to be full tonight. The couple has been running the Chinese restaurant for 10 years, and Lynn says Lunar New Year's Eve and Lunar New Year's Day are their busiest nights.
Chinese have like the vacation coming here, have a Chinese holiday. All people like eat something and made happy.
Lynn says food is an important part of Chinese culture, and so families like to get together to eat for the Chinese New Year holiday. He shared some of the restaurant's most popular dishes with us today.
Good honey walnut shrimp, like fried chicken, like vegetable kangkong, like fish.
The Chinese New Year festival lasts 16 days, so get your chopsticks ready for the Year of the Sheep. And some foods are considered lucky to eat on the New Year. Those include fish, Chinese dumplings, spring rolls, and for long life, longevity noodles.